So just to start things off, I'm Claire O'Neill. I'm the director of programming for the NYC Student Film Festival. And we're going to ask that the director introduce theirself, their film, and their pronouns as they start to answer questions. So if someone would like to start.
Hi, I'm Carl. I directed Pop the Trunk. My pronouns are he, him. Yeah.
So Pop the Trunk was the one we just saw. Loved it. I felt really funny, really humorous. Um, can I ask what inspired the film?
Yes.
Like, into it?
Yeah, so me and Vendela, who's in here right now, she was the DP on the project. Her pronouns are she, her, just so you know. And we worked together in a screenwriting class. And she came in with the story about two girl best friends dealing with like a body, like a boy's body in their trunk. And they weren't both seeing him, I don't think. I can't exactly remember. But it was just like one girl was upset and her best friend was like, you know what, fuck that guy. So they killed him and they had to deal with the body themselves. And then as an experiment or an assignment, our professor made us swap stories. So I started writing for her story. And then I kind of adapted to a situation that happened in my life where me and my best friend were like hooking up with the same girl and it like sucked. So the whole film is kind of just like a what if. We righted those wrongs and we're just like, chicks before dicks, bros before hoes, nuts before butts. And that's pretty much generally exactly how everything happens.
Yeah, that's great. So did you know the people you were working on the film with before you started working on it?
Yes, yes. So me and Vendela, we went to school together at the University of Florida. Go Gators, we are Gator Nation. Best school ever. Just so you guys know. Um, and we were taking those classes together. We met some students in the class together, and we like begged and pleaded and did whatever we needed to do to get them to work on the project together. And like three people said yes. So that's kind of how we like made the team. But it all just started in that screenwriting class. That's where me and Vendela met, and she hasn't been able to get rid of me since.
I was gonna ask how the filmmaking process went and like what hurdles you went through. And it sounds like recruiting people was one of them.
Oh yes, yes. But there's a lot of fun that went into the filmmaking of it. Vendela was our DP, so she really was one behind the camera and all that crazy stuff. I don't know if she wants to speak right now. She's coming all the way from Ireland, so it's a little later there. Vendela, I can leave you the floor. Do you wanna talk about the shooting process?
Sure. Um, I can tell you about how, especially the trunk shots in the beginning and at the end, like I had to hide in the trunk. Like I had to be right next to the camera, so I had to fit in there. Um, and also when we did the opening shot, that's the trunk, it's like broken, so it wouldn't open. Like okay, so wait, I don't know
Yeah,
how to explain
the
this.
car, yeah, the car was my car, and the trunk like wouldn't like it's funny. The whole film's called Pop the Trunk. You can't pop the trunk. Like if you press the button, it doesn't open up the trunk. The only way to open the trunk is I like Jerry like maneuvered like a cord that can like run through the car to like pull on like the kidnapping latch. You know, in trunks they have like the kidnapping
Yeah,
latch.
yeah, yeah. So you can
So
pop
I
your
ran.
arm out if you get kidnapped, you can pop your arm out through like I think the headlight or something. Or
Yeah,
tell
yeah. So like I had like a whole like thing jerry rigged to like do that from the outside. So you can't actually click a button. You have to just pull this cord and it like opens it. So when we were filming that scene, the cord got stuck in the car. So like there was like a solid 3 seconds of Vendela and Michael, the man who plays Keith, that were like they were like trapped in like the trunk for like 3 seconds. And Vendela was a little scared. I don't blame her. So it was summer heat in Florida, hot. Don't know if you could get out, but so that was the last take. The second take, that was it, and we were good, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah, was really curious about some of the shots you pulled off, especially the ones when you were driving, like just safety concerns. So it's really interesting to hear about the process behind that.
Oh, for the driving shots, we had the car on a U-Haul and then we had a truck pulling it. So the actors weren't actually driving it, just because that would have been really dangerous.
That's a nice solution to it. Actually,
I don't know if it was legal, but yeah, it
Was it
was a good
wasn't legal,
solution.
but it was more safe than them driving and acting at the same time.
Yeah.
okay.
Possibly, arguably.
So actually, would everyone like to go around and introduce themselves before we proceed further, or everyone in the Zoom call, just to break the ice a bit?
I can go next if no one else wants to go.
Yeah, sure.
Um, Hi, I'm Katie Kobos. I directed Birds of a Feather, which was the animated one. My pronouns are she, her. And I don't remember any other questions were.
You answered them. It was name, pronoun,
Okay,
uh,
perfect.
film. What ro and you said what role you had in the film.
Yeah, I was a director, animator, all that stuff.
Yeah. Anybody else want to go?
Hi, I'm Miggy. I'm the director of alternative learning. My pronouns are they, them.
And hi, I'm Theodore. I'm the producer of all alternative learning, and my pronouns are he, him. There you go.
All right. So to pass it off a bit and not just have like one group speak, um, would anyone else like to talk about like what inspired their films to get off the ground or what you put into it? Or we can like switch up the question.
I can go, I guess. I don't know if we're like raising hands or whatever, but I'm just cool.
Raising hands good.
So I don't know. So what inspired the film? So that was my capstone at the Rochester Institute of Technology in upstate New York. I was an animation major, so I made an animated film. And going into it, I really wanted to tell like kind of a lighthearted story that kind of was a good representation of like my writing style, my animation style, and I also wanted a story that really centered on Tourette syndrome. That's something that I was diagnosed with when I was 16, and there's not many like films out there that like represent it well or at all. And so I really want to like coming into my senior year, I was like, I want to do like a cute little story that like focuses on this really unique part of my life. Um, and I don't know. I was on a run one day and I was like, oh my gosh, parrots are so weird and they like talk and say silly things. And oh my gosh, people with Tourette's say silly things. Like there's probably a film there or something. And so that's how that happened.
I think that was really conveyed in your film. It came off as really touching. Both my brothers actually go to RIT, so I had heard about it beforehand actually, and so it was really cool to see it on screen.
Oh my
Um,
God, that's crazy.
yeah. I was mentioning the films I had submitted, and my little brother was like, "Oh my God, I know that one." Um, you were you animating on your own, or did you have other crew come in?
I had a very small crew. I was the sole animator on the project, which was very, very hard, but I mean, it was worth it. It came out nice. I had a background artist because I can't illustrate to save my life, and the background artist, Shine Singh, she graduated a year before, and I reached out to her and I was like, "Do you want to just do all the backgrounds of my film?" And she was like, "Oh my gosh, yes." And working with her was really, really fun, and literally just like I love her style so much, and I think she just added so much to the film. So that was really fun. And then my brother did the music. And he actually, I added him on like very, very last minute. Like I was not thinking about the composition at all until like maybe a few weeks before the film was due. And I just messaged him because he's a music major at Tufts. He graduated too. But I was like, can you just like put something together for me? And he was like, yeah, give me 2 weeks. And he submitted that. And I was like, I have finals now, so I can't work on it. So here you go. And I'm like, this is perfect. And it brought the whole film together at like the final hour. So that was really nice. Those are the major members. I mean, I had voice actors who were mostly just my friends who I put in a sound booth and was like improvised for 3 hours, and I worked with what I had. I had a couple people help me with like coloring, but like other than that, it was student project, so it's not a very big crew, but work with what you have.
Yeah, just going to anyone can pick this question up, but
I could answer.
hmm?
I could
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, I don't think I introduced myself actually. My name's Mohammed. I made Burning Pictures. Uh, I go by he, him. Um, yeah, but what was the question again?
Um, what inspired the film? What was the process like? Just like what did you consider going into the film?
Um, started with well, the premise of the film started with me watching a film in my screenwriting class, and it was this film called La Jetée. It's like a French film from like I don't know
I
the
know it.
60s,
Yes.
and yeah, it's this really cool film, and I was like, wow, I really like the style of this, and it's this like really like the narration of it. I was like, this is cool. I want to try this out. And I was thinking of a story for it. But what really made me want to make this film actually was out of straight spite and anger. I was in this happened in my first semester of film school, and I'm 2 years into the program. I got 2 more years, and this is like one of the first films I made in the first semester. Ever since then, I've made like 14 films. But this was production class. They were like teaching like, hey, this whatever, and I was kind of annoyed because they weren't teaching us how to act make things to do. So I was like, I want to make a film, and they assigned me like a poem to write and make like a video out of it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to make a video. I want to make a short film. So I just wrote a poem, and I thought about the film La Jetée. I was like, I could turn that into like, I could take the poem and make it into this film that's like in pictures in black and white, have the thematic relevance of like photography in it because it's in pictures, so we can have like a photographer. And the team started to come in, the story started to evolve, and that's how this film came to be.
Nice. It's always cool to hear about like what projects influence new filmmakers, just because it's a generational, we learn from the films that come before us, and it's not generational like directly, but we all take on influences. So it's always very cool to hear about. Um, so I believe there's one more person who didn't answer you're not obligated to, of course, but does anyone else want to answer like what inspired their film going forward?
Um, for me, oh, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm a graduate of the alternative school that I did my documentary on. And right after, like right in the beginning of my first year, I'm now going into third, a friend who went to that school passed away, and it made it like very hard to go to school, obviously. Um, but when I was like given the opportunity to have this project, I guess I kind of just thought about like the influence that all the people who went there and the school itself had on my life, and I wanted to be able to portray that in a way and be like I don't know, start up other organizations and communities like that in other places, because I don't think Toronto should be the only place that has this school. So it was like the big fire to do it, I guess you could consider.
Yeah, that's a really important reason to do it. I really loved watching the documentary, so I think I'm glad you shared it, and I'm glad I got to see it. It was very touching. And
I appreciate it. I think regardless of all like my emotional reasons to do it, like there are a lot of kids who slip through the cracks in public school, and there's not a lot of alternatives, to lack of a better word, set up for kids like that. And I don't think without that school I would have graduated high school nor gone to post-secondary and pursued film. So hopefully someone else will see this and decide that they want to graduate too.
so I think by asking you all like what inspired your film, also accidentally touched on one of my following questions, which was what was your filmmaking journeys like to this point? If you still want to talk about that, that'd be great. But um, I also was curious about how you guys balance filmmaking with being students, or how you balanced uh, just life with filmmaking. It's a very dedicated process that requires a lot of heart to go into it.
We can do this one again. So we were able to make this film as part of like this was our third semester film, so we were able to kind of work it into our like the term, but it was still like, at least for me as a first time producer, it was hard to kind of navigate like having to manage that and then also pick up all of the courses and classes. And I think Mickey did a phenomenal job as a director, kind of just guiding the ship and allowing us to focus on both the classes and giving us time to work on the film, like giving us a good balance. And it was an interesting process because this was like our first kind of big film that we got to make at our school. So it was an experiment in and of itself. And I think it would just help set us up for the last two, or our last year we're going into now. It definitely helped set up how we can better navigate balancing our work life or student life with filming.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I found like filmmaking on my own pretty hard, and then I joined my school's production club, and that really helped. And I got to learn from people. And it is like a very crash course sort of thing, making your first couple films. Does anybody else want to touch upon what their filmmaking journey's been about up to this point? Or we can move on. That's also an option.
I mean, I could share. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's tough because it's happening right now where I'm making another film. And when I made Burning Pictures, this project, uh, it was a lot more at ease because I made it in one day with like three or four friends. And it was this like beautiful, like this period where you just make a film with friends, and we were just getting started with film school. And it was this fun time where you just like, yeah, we could just, write the script and then go make it in one day. And that was a really fun experience. It didn't at all affect like my school or stuff happening around my life. And I was just like, hey, I made this film in like 3, 4 hours, and now I can edit it in my own time, and then I can present it in like a week to this class. But hey, I can keep working on it after I present it because it's still my film. But now I'm at a point where 2 years later, I think it's been like 1.5 years since I made the film. It's been a while, and I mean, now I'm working on a new project, and this is taking like a month in pre-production, and there's a full-on crew, there's more people involved, and that one's taking a lot of my time and my hobbies and stuff I want to do, and it's kind of draining and overwhelming, and I kind of miss when I could just write a script and it'd be like, okay, let's make it in one day in 3, 4 hours and call it a day, because I think about that is very exciting and fun. Whereas this one is like, oh, stressful. Like, okay, I gotta really make sure everything is going to plan, so everybody's fed, there's budget involved, and all that. So, I mean, right now it's just it gets more and more overwhelming the more you level up.
Katie or Carlos, do you want to answer what your filmmaking journeys have been like to this point, or?
Yeah, I can answer. I mean, for me, kind of, so my film was my fourth year film, or like my capstone of my last one. And it was kind of, for me, like, it was a really good representation, or like, kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to find the right word, but it's like symbolic of like everything that I've achieved so far as a student filmmaker. And I really think that like it's just a nice combination of like all the films I made before and like all the mistakes I made, and just kind of, I don't know, like I learned a lot throughout my 4 years at RIT. Specifically, like not even just like in terms of animation, in terms of just like production management and like time management and organization. And I've made a lot of projects that like I never submitted to festivals because I really didn't like how they turned out. And going into this one was like, okay, like I know what I've done in the past. I know how I can improve on like what I've made in the past. And I think kind of having that all come together into this final project, I think it really helped pay off, and kind of helped it become what you just saw. Um, in terms of like time management and stuff, because obviously you're also a student as you're making films. For me, it was about understanding like kind of, I guess kind of sorry, I'm struggling with words today. But knowing what to focus on versus what to kind of like brush off or just kind of let go of. Especially student films, like you have limited resources and you have limited time. So everything can't be perfect, and sometimes you're just gonna like. There's gonna be some shots where you're like, okay, I'm really gonna work hard on this part, and there's some shots where it's like it's okay, it could be better, but like you have to move on, and just kind of like coming to terms with that and accepting that like sometimes it just needs to be done. It just doesn't need perfect, and that did a lot in terms of like just helping me manage my time as a student and as a filmmaker, because you have to spend time on other things, obviously, and just coming like understand that process really helped.
Yeah. I always found pre-production like to be so crazy because I can't always visualize it the way I want. And I'm sure that's like doubly so for animation where you have to draw out every single bit.
Yeah.
So very much it's hard to visualize what you know you want it to feel like going in.
Yeah.
Carl, do you want to talk about Pop the Trunk or anything else with the with
Yeah, I got a couple things. So yeah, it's tough, but it's so rewarding, guys. We all made our films. We all got to put up there all the trials and tribulations we did. It all came to fruition, and we should all be proud of that work. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is whenever it does feel hard, and like you want to give up and all that stuff, that just means just keep pushing through because once you do finish, it's gonna be so rewarding. So that's how I feel about Pop the Trunk. That was a nightmare to make. I want like it was like when the writing process, I was like, why am I making this film? It's gonna be so hard to make, like just like the shoot, like practicality, blah blah, like all the production steps, blah blah. But then once I can like finally watch it and see other people watch it and enjoy it,
Tell
it means
us.
so much.
Tell us about why how it was so hard.
How it was so hard? I mean, we filmed in a moving vehicle. Like we don't have a like. Have you ever seen Carpool Karaoke with like James Corden? He's not actually filming the car as he drives those celebrities around. He has a process trailer. So pretty much, a trail like professional Hollywood trailer truck is trying like trailing the car. They're not driving. They're all safe. They get police escorts, but that costs like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. And you need like permissions and city requests and all that. We didn't have any of that. We had $1,000 from our GoFundMe people that we're very happy to have, and actresses that didn't know what they're signing up into. Bring them the first day of set. You're like, all right, you're gonna hop in my car and you're gonna hop on a U-Haul. It was very unsafe, folks. It was like we used Google AI. It was against the law, but we did it. We made it, and you allowed it, Max. You. Oh wow. Oh, maybe I just did. I break. I said Google AI. We looked up stuff and Google AI helped determine our answer. Are we disqualified from the competition now because we used AI to some extent? Huh, huh, huh. Inside jokes, folks, so people know that. Another thing I wanted to mention, thank you, Claire, you gave me the table to speak. My character in the film, which I'm sure you guys all fell in love with. Um, in the film, he was miscorrectly named Jackson a couple times. But actually, canonically, the character has reverted. He's grown up, and he now goes by Jackson again. So I just thought I needed to clear that for the record. Jax's pronouns are Jackson. That's the dead name. His pronouns are he, him, and Jax is no longer Jax. It's Jackson. And Vendela, she turned her camera off right now because a bird flew into her room, and she's living in Ireland, and it's like fucking, like 3 a.m. over there. I don't know. Vendela, Vendela, if this is not too much to ask, could you just pop into the chat and just give us like a thumbs up or something? You don't even need to pop, yeah, you don't even need to pop in. You could just do one of those little emoticons, folks. Folks, how about everyone just does a little emoticon right now? Let's all give ourselves a emoticon. That's my favorite emoticon. I'm gonna put that one in the chat right there. Um, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. I could keep riffing, but there. Thank you, Theodore, Chad, Chungus or something. That's the first thing when I read that. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? We're having a good time. We're having a good time. Thank you, Mohammed. Mohammed's sleepy.
I'm still trying to process the bird thing. Okay.
I think she is too because she didn't
Wait,
come.
wait. Why don't we actually have Teddy say or Theo explain the preferred way to say your name?
Yes.
Full name.
So Theodore is straightforward. The last name is Greek. It's 17 letters and 6 syllables long, and it's Chad Jamichael Leadus.
Chad.
Chad Jamichael Chungus.
No. Thank you
Close.
for sharing the correct pronunciation.
You're welcome.
So, moving on, we were talking about the stressful parts of filmmaking. What was your most favorite part about producing your films, or just filmmaking in general? I'm partial to editing.
Um, well, one of the biggest pros was getting to go back to my high school and seeing my teachers. Like, there's only two, so we ended up becoming very close. And also, I got to do all the post audio for my film, and I love doing post audio. And it was definitely stressful, but at the end of the day, I could spend 40 hours in that lab any day. So I'm happy about that. What about you?
Favorite part? It was obviously all of the paperwork. No. The favorite part was just like being able to be a producer for the first time and actually be like, wow, I'm good at this. I want to do this more. Like I got the itch to be a producer on more upcoming films, so I'm always chasing that again. And it started with this doc, so that's probably my favorite part of being a producer on this.
If no one volunteers, I will pick a name. Unfortunately, we've reached that part of the night.
I can go next.
Thank you.
My favorite part of filmmaking is pre-production. I'm primarily a storyboard artist. That's what I love. Like that was definitely, especially making this film. This is a very board-driven film, which means that there really wasn't a script. It was more like I had ideas in my head of like I want this to happen and this to happen, and I would just like kind of board out like if I had an idea, I would board it out, see how it looks, and if I liked it, I would make changes like directly in the drawings instead of like following a script. Because I love boards so much, and that's kind of how I think through scenes and everything. In terms of like my favorite moment of like filmmaking, was probably like the last 3 weeks is when I got all like the background voices of like the kids and the birds. And those are all like my best friends at school. I recruited them on a Saturday afternoon. I was like, get in this voice box, and I would basically tell them, here's your character. You're at the zoo. You're having the time of your life. This bird is making fun of your friend, and it's the funniest thing in the world. Go crazy. And I just had them ad lib like for an hour, and I picked the best parts. But a lot of it didn't make it in the cut. A lot of it you honestly couldn't hear because it was just lost in the mix. But like that was like it was the funniest 3 hours of my life. But it was, you know, that was definitely one of my favorite parts.
And that's when you release a behind the scenes footage. Mohammed, what was your favorite part of Burning Pictures?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I guess for me it could be directing the actors because this is like my first time directing actors. So I enjoyed it because it's like, oh, I'm actually working with people here for the first time, working with a DP and working with an actor, and it's not just me making a film on my own. So that was a pretty exciting experience. But honestly, I don't know. I think now I think about it, it's not even the or the favorite process for this project is oh, अभी मैं मीटिंग में हूँ. अभी मैं मीटिंग में हूँ. Okay. Okay. That's my mom. But no, but I guess my favorite process for me is I think for me it's not even like the editing or the filmmaking. It's when you get to watch it after a while. Because it's been a while since I saw the film. And I look back at it and I'm like, wait, there's actually a lot of stuff that I explore thematically and storytelling wise that's still relevant to me personally. Like there's a lot of themes of loneliness or themes of denial that it's like, oh, this even 2 years later, it still hits. It's like, oh, I learned something new today or whatever. So, yeah.
I always love the learning part of filmmaking. That's a great takeaway. And I think the last person we haven't got into for this part is Carl, right?
Yeah, hold on. I'm memeing in the chat real quick, but my cat's not dead, just in case. I'm in New York, obviously.
Lovely cat names.
Yes, yes. That was a great question, Claire. It was such a great question. I'm gonna ask you to say it again.
Oh, I blanked for a second. I'm so sorry.
Me too.
I asked what people's favorite part of making the films were,
Oh.
or just making what your favorite part of the process is in general. So like my favorite part is editing. I like seeing the pieces come together.
Yeah. I would say just the favorite part is just watching it when it's finished. I love watching the film over and over again, just being like, yeah, just like that's fun. That's my favorite part. I hate writing. I hate writing so much. Editing, I think I might hate even more. Actual production is kind of fun as long as things aren't falling off the rails too much. Um, because there's some like actually talented filmmaker made the quote was like you make three different films: the film you write, the film you shoot, and the film you edit. So pretty much that, like you're never gonna be done writing until you're like I'm done writing. You're never gonna like you shooting is a little different because it's like we have a fucking deadline. But you're never going to be done editing until you're like, no, I'm done. So I hate all of that. So producing, I guess, is like I literally like there's a certain like you have to stop. So that's probably my favorite part of the process. And then watching it obsessively over and over and over again is my other favorite thing. And Vendela, guys, just so you everyone know, Vendela, she hasn't texted me back or anything. She hasn't replied in what's going on in this chat. There's a bird on the loose in her room. She might not be safe. She might not be around anymore. So I think we should do a moment of silence for Vendela. And
Well,
It
she's in the Zoom, so she can't
it's
be.
still on the Zoom. It
yeah,
is well past
If I
midnight.
was about to die and I was in a Zoom, I would log out of respect.
well, not
Max.
all of us can do that, Max. All right. Yeah.
If I was getting eaten by a bird, I would log out of the Zoom. So we don't
So
know if she's dead. Also, that would be the first person to die during an NYC
I
Student
don't.
Film Festival event.
Eh.
I'm hopeful that a bird wouldn't be able to take Vendela out. I think when I lived in Ireland, I lived there for 6 months for an internship. The
Potatoes.
no, the the worst thing that was like in our neighborhood was a fox, and that only screamed at night, like a woman screaming. So I don't think. I hope a bird can't take Vendela out.
Nah, she got that dog in her, you know what I mean? She'll she'll
I,
she'll figure it out. She'll she'll throw.
that's good.
Yeah.
Um, so Max, the call time is 9 for this, right? I just want to make sure I
Yeah,
don't
I
have
think we should
too many
take
questions.
questions from the audience.
Yeah, that's a perfect one. Do you guys have questions?
No, no, no,
You guys-
no, no, no. The audience asks the filmmaker questions.
Well, I know. It seems like most of the audience is fellow filmmakers. I was going to ask if you had questions for each other.
All right, fine. Question for each other. I have a question. What's everyone's favorite movie? This is something, by the way, we were doing last night at the film festival in
Treasure
person
Planet,
in New
Atlantis, the
York
Lost
City.
Empire, and Pacific Rim Supremacy.
So just wanted to give you guys a little FOMO.
What you
I'm
gotta
sure
say.
I'm sure you're all over the place, so it's okay.
I have a
you
favorite
can
movie that my roommate has reminded me of.
What?
Oh, are we sharing our favorite movies? Is that
Yeah,
the question?
I didn't hear what you just said. I'll watch it in the record. Okay.
Oh.
She has a favorite movie her roommate reminded her of. Please
Okay,
proceed.
go.
Well, my roommate knows what the answer is. So my favorite movie is this cult classic, wonderful, greatest film ever made movie in 2010. It's DreamWorks Megamind. Favorite movie of all time. I've seen it so many times. Just, I wish there was a sequel, but there isn't. But anyway, I love that film.
They almost made a sequel. They made a sequel short film.
They made it short a while ago. I still haven't watched it.
There,
And
It's
then,
actually
they
it's
just
actually
never
not
made a second
good.
film
It's actually
or a
not
TV film.
good. It does not live up to the
It's just
hype.
the first film.
there's a sequel to Megamind in the way that there's a sequel
there's
to
not.
Pacific Rim. They don't exist.
Megamind is so good. Oh wow. So whose hands are those? Is that your teacher from the alternative learning? Oh my god, wow.
It's my girlfriend
Oh,
my
okay.
emotional support.
Oh, okay.
Stan.
What's her favorite movie? Okay.
Oh, anyways,
Yeah.
to respond to the question, to keep us on track, my favorite movie or my letterbox top 4 would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Mad Max Fury Road, and probably The Last Crusade. So Yeah, The Accrueds. That's my favorite movie of all time. No, those are my
And The
top
Breakfast
four.
Club.
That's a great poster. What are your top movies?
Oh, my top four are Prozac Nation, The Rebel Singer, it's a documentary, Little Miss Sunshine, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I don't care if they're basic, they're fire.
Good choices.
This is my favorite movie. Okay. Top four is Breakfast Club, La La Land, The Shining, and Bo Burnham's Inside.
The movie of The Shining is so much better than the book.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Wait, I didn't know we were doing top four. Could I do my top four then?
That happened accidentally. Yes, please proceed.
Perfect. So Megamind is my number one, by a lot. I love the movie so much. The rest are 12 Angry Men, which I watched for class in college and I'm obsessed with. I love that film. Paranorman and Luca.
Can I just say the experience of watching Megamind as a child for me, that plot twist of the guy who is actually not the guy, and like that plot twist, I think was probably one of the first plot twists I ever comprehended as a human being, and I like love
It's crazy, and it happens
lost
like
Vendela?
multiple times. There's multiple plot twists in that movie. It's
literally
cinema.
love Megamind.
We just lost Vendela.
Hey, what did I say?
I will say the Jewish prayer for the dead.
No, we don't have time for that. That takes forever. No. Mohammed, would you like to share what your favorite film is? He might be frozen.
He's frozen just like the pictures in the movie.
You know, I would love to share my favorite four films.
Okay.
And I think everyone wants to hear them.
Yes.
It's a very varied and diverse list. So I'm just gonna get started right now. Controversial pick. Fast and the Furious. Love that movie. Great movie. Number two is The Fast and the Furious. Not to be confused with Fast and Furious. It's The Fast and that's like actually the sixth one. They renamed it like that. The sixth one is Fast and Furious. The first one's The Fast and the Furious. So and then okay, now it starts to get a little crazy, all right? Now we get into Fast Five. So you might be saying, "Oh, that's weird. Is that a different series of movies called Fast? Is there a Fast One? Is there a Fast Two? Is there a Fast Three? Four? No, this is actually also in the Fast and Furious franchise. But it's the fifth one, and they just cut out the Furious part, and they just call it Fast Five. And then it gets really hard. The Fate of the Furious. So this doesn't even sound. This sounds like a completely different genre of movie. You know, The Fate of the Furious, and it's interesting. Interesting. This movie, it's the eighth movie in the series. And in the title, it's called The Fate of the Furious. And they did something really clever here, guys. And I think all of us filmmakers take notes. On the poster in the iconography, they put an F next to an 8. Fate of the Furious. That's pretty crazy. And then number 5 is Schindler's List.
There's a very important question in the chat for you, Carl.
Oh, aren't they always? Meow. Yeah.
Not that one.
Do you like the Cars movies? Not really.
All right.
Nothing too crazy about Cars. Yeah.
Cars is goated.
Cars is goated. So it's 8:56, and I kind of want to squeeze in one more question from the audience if we can. But otherwise, I want to remind people that all of your Instagram handles, social media, it should be tagged and off on the NYC student.
We'll put it in the comment. This will
Yeah,
be
we'll put it in the
we'll
comments
put it in
too.
the comments.
It should be on the Instagram page.
In the description, sorry.
In the description. My apologies. But we hope if you guys have any more questions with each other, like filmmaking business, it's all about connections. It's all about networking, maintaining relationships with people. Feel free to like reach out to across the network you foster here. We're happy to host you guys and your films. It was a delight to watch them.
We are definitely also happy to host you in person if you want to come.
Yeah, come to the rest of our events if you can.
What's
I know
the
not
drive
everyone
from
can make such
Toronto? Like 5 hours?
progress.
And where are you, Katie? Like it's like Rochester. It's nothing. Just come on.
Max,
Oh,
It's
just a
also
drive,
5 hours from
man.
Just
Rochester.
come
I'm
on
probably
down.
closer to like, I don't even know, like Maryland than I am to New York
Carl
City.
came from Florida, so
That's true.
and
Carl did come from Florida.
and Nicholas came from Columbia.
That's fair. I
Not
also
the
have
not
work
the
this weekend.
not
You
the
made the festival on a weekend that I have a big work event. So I don't
I'm
know.
so
But
sorry.
Damn, you should have told me. I would have changed the thing. No.
Maybe next year we'd love to
Maybe
have
next year.
Cat. Sorry, that was
oh,
total
I
distraction.
told you, bye. This is Jared somewhere.
So anyway, thank you all for submitting. It was lovely to meet you tonight. Um, we were glad to have
Wait.
you.
I have one last question.
Back to the final word.
I have a question. What's next for everyone? What are we doing?
That's the question I missed.
In terms of like film or just in general?
Film.
Film. Oh. I'm currently in pre-production on 2 different films to direct. They're also going to be shorts, but we're most likely going to have to push filming back to next summer because we're not going to have enough time to finish before school starts. But other than that, we're both going into our final year of film school, so that'll be fun.
Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
what school do you guys go to right now?
We go to Humber College here in Toronto.
Oh, okay. Canadians. Cool.
Sorry.
A boot. Do you guys watch Degrassi? Oh my God. I've been like cringe watching some old episodes of Degrassi. I don't know if you guys grew up on that. So
Watch Next Generation.
yeah. I mean,
Next Generation is
I'm
really
not gonna
good.
watch the 80s one. I don't like that's not on Max. How am I gonna watch
They showed
Great.
it. They showed it in my health class, and I just every time they played the theme of Degrassi, I would just like bop out,
Hell yeah.
dance.
What's next for me? Thank you for asking. Oh my God. Um, so my friend is about to kick me out of his apartment, and I've got a one-way ticket to New York, so I'm probably gonna be under the Brooklyn Bridge maybe for the next couple of weeks. Who knows?
No. You can stay with me. You can stay with me.
So I'm gonna be under the Brooklyn Bridge for the next couple of days. No, I'm kidding. Max, I would love to take that. No, what is next for me? I just graduated school from the greatest university of all time, second to Humboldt College in Toronto, right? And yeah, I'm writing a short right now, and if you remember my answer from earlier, it's the most painful process in my entire life. And but I really want to get that shot and filmed and whatever by the end of the year. Um, and then other than that, I don't know. I'm trying to do a bunch of internet social media stuff to try to get your name out there. I do stand-up comedy very unsuccessfully. And I want to make all of this my career in my entire life. And I'll kill myself trying. And
Ever
I'm
watch Miss
killed.
Maisel? Give that tight 10 minutes.
Hmm?
Never mind.
Carl, now we can't clip that because you said kill myself.
You can just like I can dub it over. How about we dub it over right now?
Okay.
Love my
Go back in
neighbor.
time.
I don't know. Golden rule. Kill Vendela with a bird that I sent it to her house. I'm actually kind of concerned with Vendela. I'm gonna call her after this. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Please do. And if you can,
Imagine the last thing you hear from your friend after they ignore you for like half an hour is a bird
Yeah.
flew into my room.
Yeah. And Katie, before we wrap this up here at the New York City Film Festival, NYC Student Film Festival. Katie, what's next for you?
What's next for me? That's such a great question. I like to tell people I'm just hanging out. I graduated over a year ago in 2024. So I'm kind of like at the end of my festival run for this film. I have a job that's not film related at all, but it pays me money. So it's good enough for now. And in my 5 to 9, I just kind of storyboarding random stuff, animating random stuff, trying to update my portfolio. I'm trying to finish a pilot for a animated TV series that I started years ago and kind of dropped because I got busy, and I'm going to start up again. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing for the next year. But I'm basically, there's my cat again.
There's a cat. Hold on. Katie, stop it right there. What's the cat? Oh my God. Oh my God. My cat is also a gray tabby. I think that's a gray tabby.
He's
Looks
like got
like
little stripes. He's a little tiger.
yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
cute.
but yeah, I'm just like hanging out, essentially, trying to do my thing. Just kind of like the same thing where it's just like make your stuff, try and put yourself out there, and maybe it'll become something someday. You know?
Katie, You go, girl. I'm proud of you. And I'm so glad you joined me and my team here at the New York City Student International West Side Underground Nepo Baby Film Festival.
You took over the panel.
Guys,
Wow.
guys, Vendela
Thanks for having me,
Extra,
Carl.
Vendela
Wait,
Extra
wait,
from
wait.
Ireland
Can
has
I
watched
just end the
me.
recording and then we can sort of just like chill and talk? Because I feel like this is gonna look when like this is gonna look
Going
unprofessional.
anywhere, Max? You're gonna send.
This is
I
gonna
was
look
just gonna end the
unprofessional,
recording. Thank you
actually.
all for coming. If you're willing to stay for after, that's great. If
Yeah,
not,
then we're gonna do NYC Student Film Festival after hours. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording so we can post this to YouTube and not and get monetized. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Bye.